I'm on a quest to play every single Final Fantasy game, and how far in are we? Yeah, we still have a lot of this mountain left to climb. I talked about what inspired me to start this journey in my previous Final Fantasy I video, so let's hop right into 2 by talking about some of the differences. This game ditches your typical experience point leveling system used in most games, and instead tries an activity-based progression system, meaning that what stats get leveled depends on what you are doing. Want to level up your skill with the sword? Hit things with your sword. Want to level up a spell? Spam it like there is no tomorrow. Want to increase your HP? Time to get hit a bunch. Which is funny because this game also introduced being able to target anything with any action. So it is a legitimate consideration to attack your own party members to level up their HP stat. But there are some actually interesting uses of this when you consider being able to target undead enemies with healing spells to damage them. It took me a while to realize, but you can also choose to multi-target any of your spells. So in the case of damage dealers like fire, your damage number is spread out across all enemies, whereas spells with a binary pass-fail like warp have their accuracy reduced when multi-targeted. Similarly, Cure can either be cast to heal one of your party members a lot, or all party members a little. While the utility is definitely fun to play with, it took me way too long to realize that I could multi-target. So I spent the first while wondering when I was going to get Blizzara, only to realize I had it the whole time. 2 also has a more intuitive way to designate which party members are the tanks with the row system. Party members in the back row take half damage from enemies, but also deal half damage with melee attacks, which means you really only want mages or archers in the back row. Like the previous entry, this game starts with you choosing your characters. Well, kinda. These 4 individuals are who you get. However, thanks to the leveling system being the way it is, aside from some slight differences in the starting stats, you can really level up these characters into whatever class you choose. They also come with names already entered. Technically you can rename them, but that kind of feels like choosing to rename Cloud, or Link in Ocarina of Time. Ooh. Maybe I should have renamed Firion to my dude. With no actual choices to make here, Firion, Maria, Guy, and Leon start their adventure. The game opens up with the Palmesian Empire invading the Kingdom of Fen, and our protagonists trying to escape while being hunted down by a group of Black Knights. I guess we're just attacking and seeing what happens? Miss? Miss? Oh, we're supposed to run. Oh. I feel like that was a scripted loss. How is it possible to already be underleveled on the first fight? Scripted loss under our belt, our party is rescued and finds themselves healed in Altair, the current location of the rebel army. Well, most of our party, that is. Leon is missing and we only have the 3 of us. It would seem that Leon might still be left behind in Fen. We ask Princess Hilda to join the rebellion, but because we are inexperienced, we are denied. It looks like we are going to Fen to find Leon ourselves. Before we head out, we meet a couple extra noteworthy characters in Altair. Minwu, the white mage who healed us, and is the one who suggests we travel to Fen, the king of Fen, who is not doing so hot right now, Paul.
Hi, I'm Paul.
A thief, but according to him, an honorable thief who only steals from the Palmesian Empire, and lastly Gordon, the prince of another kingdom that was also attacked by the Empire, whose brother was killed while escaping Fen. He's a self-professed coward, and is incredibly shaken up about the recent turmoil. Okay, off to Fen to save Leon. Overrun with Imperial soldiers, the only real location to explore here is the tavern on the outskirts. The bartender was unable to escape during the invasion, but tells us about a secret passage in the back and then dips. Here, we find Gordon's brother Scott, who isn't actually dead, but he is not looking good. He asks us to tell Hilda that the reason Fen fell so quickly is because we were betrayed by Borgen, and that he has been made a general in the Imperial Army. Scott also requests that we tell Hilda that he loves her, but he walks that back pretty quickly. Lastly, he gives us a ring to give his brother, and asks us to tell Gordon that he is braver than he realizes. Then he flops over and fades away. Damn, this game is already darker than the first one. Back to Altair to pass along that information, and now Hilda is willing to allow us to join the Wild Rose Rebellion. In order to fight the Empire, the rebellion needs weapons made out of mythril, and they haven't heard back from the first person they sent, Joseph, so we are going to go check on him. To help us, Minwu joins our party. Yeah. Turns out this 4th party slot isn't actually for Leon, and instead will change several times throughout the game. With our overleveled white mage tagging along, we make our way to Salamand. On the way, we run into Cid, a staple character of the Final Fantasy series. Every hero needs a Cid. Airship location noted for the future. We continue our travels and reach Joseph. Turns out, the Empire has been threatening his daughter, so he has been unable to make any progress on gathering the mythril. So it is up to us to save Nellie, and once she is safe, Joseph will tell us how to obtain the mythril. We find the dungeon where several townspeople are being held, and also find Paul.
Hi, I'm Paul.
among those captured. This is worth noting because Paul always repays his debts. Nellie now back safely with Joseph. He tells us where we can find the mythril in the dungeon. Now with weapons upgraded, it is on to putting out the next fire. The Empire is currently building a Dreadnought, and we need to destroy it before it can launch. Except we get there too late, get laughed at by the traitorous Borgen, and the Dreadnought sails off to bomb all of the cities with the rebels. Fortunately, not too many people in Altair are hurt, but at this point, Minwu has to stay behind to take care of the king's worsening condition. And now, we have to figure out how to destroy the Dreadnought. Speaking with Sid, the leading expert on airships, it seems the best way to do this is to toss some Sunfire into the Dreadnought's engine to blow the whole thing up. There's just one problem. The Sunfire is located in the kingdom of Kashuan, and while we can see the Sunfire, we need a very special torch to transport it. The only problem? The only person who can open the way, Gordon, the Prince of Kashuan, is nowhere to be found. That means we have to open it the hard way, which involves finding an artifact named the Goddess Bell, which is like the backup key to get in. We go back to Salaman to ask Joseph for help finding it. He tells us where his snowcraft is hidden so we can reach the correct dungeon through the snowscape, and he happily joins our party, apologetic he didn't do more to help when we got the mithril. He is very much a monk, dealing damage with his fists instead of a weapon, and I definitely made way too many fisting jokes during my playthrough. In the dungeon, we get stuck at a room with a bunch of beavers. So I guess we will need to find a way to communicate with them to continue. Guys speak beaver. Okay, I need to explain some more how hilarious this is. So when I live stream, I use a pretty specific template for my thumbnails, and I always use a heavily pixelated background to match whatever game I'm playing. Well, for my Final Fantasy streams, it was really easy to just use card art from the Magic the Gathering X Final Fantasy crossover set. Well, I ended my first stream right before this dungeon, and for my second stream, I decided to use the art from Commune with Beavers, knowing it was something from Final Fantasy II, but not knowing that this moment happens less than 20 minutes into the stream. That's it. That's the whole joke. Guys speak beaver. That's the whole reference. This joke really broke me way more than it should have. One wet noodle fight with the turtle later, and we have our Goddess Bell, but not so fast. On our way out, the way is blocked by Borgen, still salty at us for interrupting plans. Hopefully we can actually deal damage here, though. Oh. What? He's just a pushover? Unfortunately, it's a trap! And Borgen sets off a boulder trap. Joseph sacrifices himself to save us, and now we have to go tell his daughter what happened to him. Teddy isn't coming back, is he? Oh, that's so sad. God, this game is so rough. Bell in hand, time to make our way back to Kashuan to get the Sunfire. Oh hey, found Gordon. Apparently, he had the same idea as us of getting the Sunfire. However, monsters are stopping him from getting further into the keep. So now Gordon joins our party so we can get this torch together. Now, I'm not sure if I was just overleveled, but I thought it was really funny that Gordon the coward was super underleveled at this point. Get the torch, acquire the Sunfire, and now it is time to find the Dreadnought. Oh no, Sid's airship got captured. But even worse than that, Hilda thought she should help us in Kashuan, so she was also on that airship headed to us. So now, blowing up the Dreadnought gets to double as a rescue mission. As a quick aside, this is also when I'd noticed that this random NPC wizard in the rebel hideout is an absolute sassmaster. He is constantly putting us down for no reason. Off to the Dreadnought. We get in, save Hilda and Sid, narrowly avoid missing a missable chest, breeze through what is supposed to be a difficult chest, and blow up the ship and escape. Sassmaster tells us he always knew we had it in us. Sure, buddy, sure. Unfortunately, the king's condition takes a turn for the worse, and another body gets added to this game's kill count. Gordon stays behind to take command of the rebellion, Minwu goes off in search of the ultimate tome, and Hilda is not taking her father's death well. Heh. That leaves us to go to Detria to see if there are any survivors of the Dragoons, an elite class of soldiers that ride wyverns. It is said that they were wiped out by the Empire, but we should go check to see if there's any survivors. We book passage to Detria, but surprise, it's actually a pirate ship and we are attacked. So after a battle where I only use warp, the crew shouldn't even exist anymore because I just banished them to the Shadow Realm, but they are somehow all fine and agree to join the rebellion after we spare them. And as a part of this, their captain Layla joins our party. This also means that the ship is now ours to control, leaving us stranded in the middle of the ocean, as I have no idea where I am going. Well, now where the fuck am I supposed to go? After stumbling through some areas I definitely shouldn't be, we make it to Detria and confirm that there are no Dragoons that are known to still be alive, but one of their wyverns still is. We loot the body of a Dragoon to get a pendant that will allow us to communicate with the last wyvern who is not looking good. They ask us to bring an egg to their spawning ground, and by the time we get back, they have disappeared. They didn't die on screen, so we're going to think happy thoughts. That side quest out of the way, we go back to Altair to check on Hilda, and carry on. There's something I would like to discuss with you. Is she gonna stab me? Whoa, what? Why are you just standing there? Don't you enjoy being teased? Sounds like you're gonna stab her, to be honest. I feel like I'm about to get stabbed. I'm confused. Now you're mine, Pyrian. What have you done with the princess? The Lamia Queen. Oh wait, no, go back. We want this. What? Yeah. Let's pretend that didn't happen. An announcement is made that the Emperor is hosting a tournament and the winner gets Hilda. So this is definitely another trap, right? Well, we're going anyways. Gordon is adamant that he has to come with us, meaning that we are leaving Layla behind in charge of the army. Am I the only one that remembers that she was a pirate like an hour ago? No? Just me? Girl boss, gaslight, gatekeep, I guess. So we get to the tournament, and who could have guessed? It's a trap. Fortunately for us, Paul comes to repay his debt and breaks us out. We in turn rescue Hilda, Gordon ushering her out to safety, and we get left behind as a distraction. So of course... Oh, why are you hitting Maria? What the fuck? Wait, what the fuck? I can't even do anything. I'm just fucked. I need to, like, somehow stay alive? That's not happening. What the hell? Yeah. So we just learned a pretty good lesson in status effects. Turns out, it doesn't matter how much damage your attacks do if you spend the whole fight hitting yourself. Everyone's saved. It is now time that the rebellion takes back Castle Fen. Layla joins back up with us because Gordon ditched us earlier, and one castle siege later, Hilda has her throne back. At this point, it is odd that Minwu still hasn't returned after leaving to retrieve the Ultima Tome, which means now we get to go see what is holding him up. Why can't anyone in this game do anything without our help? The Ultima Tome contains a powerful spell to seal away monsters, which should let us turn the tide versus the Empire. The steps to get it are a little convoluted. The tome is in Mythril Tower. To open the tower, we need a crystal rod. To get the crystal rod, we need the white mask and the black mask. The white mask goes on this statue to make this statue stand still, so we can put the black mask on it to get it out of the way. Of note, on our way to the tower, the white mask is under Castle Fen, and we found the secret passage without needing to ask Paul for help. Well, that was easy. I just had a feeling. Who needs Paul indeed? This chest was really fun. Oh wait, don't we have that anti-air enemy sword? Excuse me? What just happened? Why is that? Why are they able to multi-target on stone? Yeah, that took me a couple tries. They are not holding their punches on the trap chests in this game. Another thing I want to shout out is the library in Mythril. I didn't really mention it earlier. One of the story mechanics in this game is that when you talk to characters, you can learn keywords from them and use those words to prompt conversations. It's a really cool way to progress dialogue between multiple characters, but even more than that, in the library you can look up excerpts on topics of any words you have learned, allowing you to access a whole bunch more lore at your leisure. With the crystal rod acquired, that leaves us to scale Mythril Tower. Well, that just happened. I definitely could have seen this coming, but where's Layla? Add one to this game's body count, I guess. Inside Leviathan, we find other people who also got swallowed. Apparently, Leviathan is the final safeguard protecting the Ultima Tome, and swallows anyone who comes close to the tower with the crystal rod. Yeah, I guess they've been handing out crystal rods like candy, and I'm pretty sure this old guy just flashed us. What? Here we do find one person of interest, Ricard, the last Dragoon. He had also left to find the Ultima Tome when the Empire attacked, so he joins up with us, and together we defeat the group of enemies that are guarding a whole-ass escape boat. Can we actually go to the tower now? Yeah? Thanks. Oh hey, Minwu, you're already here. Why have you just been sitting here? Oh no. No, what are you doing? Minwu, no! Why would you do this? Just once, can we catch a break? Hello? Game said no. No breaks. Everyone is dead. Multiple cities in rubble thanks to a cyclone the Empire summoned. But hey, Layla's still alive, so I guess that's one good thing. Time to summon the baby wyvern that recently hatched to aid us in getting into the cyclone to stop it before it can hit Fen. We actually dive face first into the cyclone and challenge the Emperor once and for all. We defeat the Emperor, and suddenly everyone is saved. Time for a celebration for everything being fixed. Wait, why is the death counter showing up? Wait, no. The Dark Knight, Leon, Maria's brother by the way, has declared himself the new emperor. This story is not over. We now have to go confront Leon, but we will need to find a way into the Emperor's castle to face him. We should go ask Paul if he knows any way in. Oh look, Sid's here too. He got banged up real bad when the cyclone stormed through, but he'll lend us his airship so we can infiltrate the castle from the top. Sid, no, hold on. Jesus fucking Christ. Why does everyone die in this game? Well, that's it. It's the end of the game. Return to the title screen, that's it. That's it. Sid died. Roll credits. Sid's story is over. Sid's Fantasy 2 is over. But Sid dying is your exit point. The series might be rough, just saying. Castle Siege time. And now it's personal. I do have to point out that this part of the game has the single hardest trap chest in Final Fantasy II, as the cruel enemies are instant kill if they hit you. Fortunately for us, we got a preemptive strike and got a free round of attacks off. Otherwise, we definitely would have been cooked. We get to the throne room to confront Leon and talk him down, which would be all good, except now is the time the Emperor makes his big comeback. Yeah, apparently he got kicked out of hell and now we're going to have to face him again. Except Ricard decided we weren't ready to face him, so he sacrifices himself to get the rest of us to safety. Now, we have to take the scenic route back to hell to face off against the returned Emperor again, prompting Leon to recognize the errors of his ways, and he asks to join us on our quest to defeat the Emperor again. On our way, several of the trap chests in Pandemonium are guarded by high-level bosses, including a zombified Borgadon, Tiamat randomly, and Azeroth. Fortunately, we are well equipped to take these down and get to the Emperor for our final showdown. Okay. Yes, we'll try again.
Many repressed memories later.
Oh, we got there! Never mind, we're good. And with that, the world is actually saved this time. We receive thanks from the people who are still living, and get nods of approval from the Force ghosts of those that we lost. Cue the ending sequence and credits. And that is another Final Fantasy game down. I really like this one. As the game is on the shorter end, the story is a little bare bones, but I think the general outline of it is excellent. If this game got a full 3D remake, like the Final Fantasy VII remake, and we got time during the story to really fall in love with all the characters we meet throughout the game, I think it would be one hell of an emotional roller coaster. The leveling system is a little weird in this game, and feels awkward mainly for two reasons. The rotating fourth party slot is such a cool idea, but with a leveling system as involved as 2 has, it feels wasteful to spend time leveling the fourth slot when they are just going to leave the team later. Additionally, having to level individual spells is tedious, and it definitely felt egregious finally getting the Ultima Tome right after Minwu sacrifices himself, and then the Ultima spell is just incredibly weak unless you spend an extra hour grinding it up. Ultimately, Final Fantasy II has so many good ideas that feel like they just fall a little short and hold it back from being a truly excellent game. Either way, I really enjoyed my time with Final Fantasy II. If you are new here, I am currently on a journey to play every Final Fantasy game, and I recently finished playing 3 live on stream, so make sure you subscribe so you are notified when my edited video for that game comes out. Or if you'd like, come check out my live streams right here on YouTube. I'll be starting Final Fantasy IV soon, and I'm incredibly excited for many of the entries to come. Thank you so much for watching. The support since my Final Fantasy I video has been overwhelming, and I really appreciate everyone who left likes on that one.